Verizon plans wireless antenna in Big Indian. Catskill radio merger proceeds. Delhi's O'Connor Hospital wins another national award. These are some of the headlines this week. Welcome to CatskillsAir. I'm Jessica Murphy with your latest local news. Joining me now is Matt Avitable, editor and publisher of the Mountain Eagle and Catskills Chronicle. Welcome, Matt. We've got a lot of news again this week, so let's jump right into it. Verizon is bringing another option to the town of Shandaken. It's not the tower that has been discussed over the years, but a smaller antenna at the Big Indian Fire Department. Matt, explain these latest developments.
This one came to us at the last planning board meeting of the town of Shandaken on April 29th. During that regular monthly workshop session, they talked about a whole lot, but the most significant was this application from Verizon Wireless. You're right, it piggybacks on what we've talked about a bit before. It's distinct from the other project that we've discussed, but the hope here is, as the company said, it would be a small wireless facility at the Big Indian Fire Department on Route 28. It wouldn't be one of those big towers. It would wind up being a wooden pole that's not higher than 50 feet with an antenna on top. And the hope here is that it would wind up creating communication, especially for the fire department and municipalities in case of emergency.
All right, well, we'll keep you posted on this one for sure. Over in Roxbury, the staffs of WIOX and Radio Catskill got together to discuss just how they'll share their stations. Matt, what's the latest on this one?
A lot of good news coming out of WJFF and WIOX. Two of the largest and most respected public radio stations in the Catskills are going to be joining forces. They had a get-together. A lot of good ideas wound up flowing. In speaking to WIOX and WJFF, we see that both radio stations have a lot to offer. They have a lot of overlapping resources, and the hope is that it will wind up helping both stations a lot.
Well, certainly we'll be talking about this topic again soon. O'Connor Hospital in Delhi earns more awards. Matt, tell us about this latest honor, a 2026 Women's Choice Award.
That's right. Once again, O'Connor Hospital won some high honors. We wound up seeing an award for ER wait time and efficiency, as well as emergency care. O'Connor Hospital placed within the top 17% of hospitals nationwide for emergency care, as well as the top 4%. Very impressive for ER wait time and efficiency in the Women's Choice Awards for 2026.
Congratulations to everyone involved at O'Connor. Folks around Stamford have been wondering what's coming soon to the corner of Main and River Streets. Well, on Saturday, they found out. Tell us about the new deli in town, plus the meet and greet they held over the weekend.
Absolutely. Great meet and greet on Saturday. Reggie and Tammy Holmes have done a lot to make this really good location in Stamford work. They're going to be using recipes from Tammy's mother from Ireland. Reggie is from Ireland himself. He is a former fisherman who grew up in a village on the Emerald Island before moving and working at Mountainside Dairies in Roxbury. They wound up coming to Stamford after Tammy had received her cancer diagnosis, moved upstate to get away from the maddening crowds, and fortunately she is cancer-free. There's going to be a lot of unique recipes, and we're looking forward to getting some sandwiches there.
Congrats to Tammy and Reggie and their staff. I can't wait to get over there and try some of their Irish home cooking. And as one family opens a business, sadly, another closes theirs. Reporter Liz Page has an article on Hillhaven Farms and the Jacobsons.
This one is sad. Fortunately, not as sad as other closings because this is a retirement. The Jacobson family decided to retire after operating the farm stand on the corner there across from Stewart's for 29 years and bringing so much of farm fresh produce to the community, delighting both local residents and visitors alike. We wish the Jacobsons a very happy and healthy retirement.
Speaking of farms, the Mountain Eagle has a feature called Farmers, Backbone of America. This week, Diane Dubshinsky writes about the Thompson family farm in Harpersfield. Matt, they are going to sell complete meals, I hear. Can you explain more?
Diane wrote this one about the Thompson family and their approach to have regenerative conservation, rehabilitative approaches to food production at their farm on Moxham Road in Harpersfield. This is the second season that they're rolling out this opportunity for local families. And yes, the package is going to include eggs from free-range ducks and chickens. They're going to offer pasture-raised chicken for dinner along with USDA Berkshire pork and beef. It's a really neat thing. Contact information in this week's paper.
Sounds really good. Details on how to sign up are in the paper, like Matt said. The people went into the streets for workers on May Day. Matt, you have some details on the workers' rally at SUNY Oneonta?
I was there for this one. I know that similar ones had happened across much of the area at other SUNY schools. This one was talking about the upcoming contract negotiations between SUNY and the state. My friend, former Professor Bill Simons, wrote this one up and talked about all the workers that assembled and his opinion about the upcoming contract negotiations and respecting workers.
The Ulster Savings Bank put its money into the Pine Hill Library last week. You reported on this one, so give us the good news.
We wind up seeing Ulster Savings giving back to the community. The Morton Memorial Library in Pine Hill received that funding to help expand their programming, and Samantha Owan-Gortel even came personally with the check to hand over to the library. We have another story about the library in Pine Hill Morton Memorial, and some good news coming to us from Ulster Savings Bank.
Margaretville Central School Board President Doris Warner, the Mountain Eagles Person of the Year, was honored at a banquet last week, and this time in Albany. Tell us about the event.
She's here with Superintendent Michelle Austerhout and the always handsome Matt Steen as she receives this award. She got this award at the Duo at the Dunes in Albany. The awards were hosted by the Capital Area School Development Association in partnership with the School of Education at SUNY Albany. She was honored for her excellence in school board service. A lot of credit to her for all the work that she, the school board, and everyone at the school have done over the last several years.
Congratulations again, Doris. And speaking of MCS, their students are also winners. Several students earned top honors at the Olympics of Visual Arts. That sounds cool, Matt. What's this and who won?
We have a really good picture of the students holding up their ribbons. They won and earned it. They wound up having this showing at the 44th Annual Olympics of Visual Arts. That was April 30th at the Saratoga Springs City Center. They got this in part with the guidance of art teacher Katie D. Benedetto, as well as Michelle Dietz-Maher. They wound up earning a multitude of honors here. We saw the middle and high school fashion design teams each receiving first place. High school industrial design team placing first as well. High school teams in drawing and sculpture also wound up showing off their skill. There's something in the water in Margaretville that's making the students particularly well achieved.
Great photo and congrats to all. In more school news, Charlotte Valley Central announced its 2026 valedictorian and salutatorian. Matt, who are these outstanding students?
Caleb Marino, named valedictorian. Nice picture of Caleb in the paper, as well as Abby Vroman, who is going to be the salutatorian. We're going to have more about them in the graduation edition that comes up in June. Both of them have accomplished a lot. We have some bios and their photos in this week's paper.
On the crime scene, charges are leveled in a protection order case. What happened here?
The sheriff, Craig Dumont, announced the arrest of a Hamden resident on those charges. On April 26th, sheriff's deputies were dispatched to a complaint about a potential violation of the Delaware County Court Order of Protection. They arrested Jonathan Gutliff, age 39, of Hamden. He had been served an order of protection issued by that court, and the sheriff's department alleges that he had violated those provisions and was arrested and charged with one count of criminal contempt in the second degree, which is a Class A misdemeanor.
In Andy's court, a Delancey man pled guilty to a DWI.
49-year-old Matthew All pleaded guilty in that town of Andy's court on April 23rd to one count of driving while intoxicated, which is an unclassified misdemeanor, and was sentenced to 1 year conditional discharge. As part of his sentence, he'll be required to attend a victim impact panel, and his license will be revoked for at least 6 months.
Not all the legal news is about crimes committed this week. A local police officer received top honors in Albany last week. Matt, this is a big win for Trooper Timothy Murray.
Trooper with ties to Delhi. He has done a lot over his career. In fact, according to State Police Superintendent Stephen James, Trooper Murray demonstrates exceptional commitment to his community beyond his official duty. He volunteers as a firefighter. He's an EMT with the Delhi Fire Department. He has served in multiple leadership roles over the last 18 years. And of course, in July of last year, he responded to a fatal motor vehicle accident provided life-saving care. He is someone who has done a lot for the community, and we thank him for his service.
Congrats, Trooper Murray, for all of your dedicated work. Service and community were also celebrated at 2 local firehouses last week. At the Andes Hotel, the local fire department held its annual banquet, and the evening honored several members for their years of service. Matt, fill us in.
Our own Robert Broom covered this one in Andes. The Andes Fire Department has done a lot of volunteer labor this year. They have helped so many over the last year responding to fires and emergency calls. The evening wound up honoring several members for their commitment. Dennis Joyce got Fireman of the Year. He earned it, as well as Dave Johnson, recognized as EMS Squad Provider of the Year. We have a number of honors for years of service. We have some photos inside the Catskills Chronicle section this week.
And the Grand Gorge Fire Department also had their annual party to praise their team. And they even had a few special guests stop by the firehouse, right?
That's right. We wound up seeing the elections. We saw Jim Hull acting as MC, and they had Waylon Robinson, chief of the Conesville Fire Department, and his wife Jen there, Stanford Second Assistant Chief Joe Hornbeck and his wife Deb, Mark Rossley from Delaware County 911, commissioners for the Grand Gorge Department were present and named. They have done a lot over the last year. They responded to 110 calls in the 2025 and 2026 season, with Tom Murray as the top fire responder and Larry Van Valkenburg the top EMS responder.
Last Saturday night was a perfect party for furry friends. Matt, Iris Mead covered the Heart of the Catskills Cocktails and Pints for Paws fundraiser. Did it raise a lot of loot for their kitty?
On May 2nd, we saw this Union Grove Brewstillery hosted event. Lots of people were there. It was a really cute picture of folks with their dogs. They raised quite a bit. They had 50 raffle baskets and gift certificates to bid on. They had food provided by TP's Cafe in Stamford, a long dessert table. Union Grove was a great host here. Joe Colwell wound up playing music. They raised a lot of money because the cost of operating the shelter has increased to more than $2,000 a day due to costs for heat, electricity, and maintenance. A lot of volunteers make it possible. They raised a lot of money towards that cost needed to keep those animals safe and get them in the arms of their new parents.
They have animals available for adoption right now, so stop by if you're looking for a new furry friend. And if you didn't make it last Saturday, HOTA has another event this weekend. Their 26th annual Rummage and Bake Sale is Friday and Saturday at the shelter. So come for some goodies, some collectibles, some games, homemade cookies, cakes, and pies. Local Republicans rallied in Delhi last week. All the area party heavyweights were there. Matt, you got some great photos. Tell us about the event.
A lot of local officials, a lot of state officials were there. Some candidates for state office and even federal office were there. But the big news was Sheriff Craig Dumont. He gave a compelling speech that we included in this week's paper. We're going to do the same for the Democratic Party when they have their dinner, talking about his years of service to the department. He was honored as Republican of the Year at that dinner in Delhi on Friday.
And on the other side, Democrats are hosting their annual dinner at the end of the month. Fill us in on who, when, and who will be honored.
Absolutely. We're going to be covering this one as well. Multiple guests, including Congressman Josh Riley and Ken Martin, Democratic National Committee Chair, Kim Van Atta, and Robin Williams from More Local, who make a difference in the community.
Catskill Little Leaguers had their season opener last weekend. We talked about the new clubhouse last week. Now describe the festivities for us.
That's right. This opening day ceremony was really good. The weather even cooperated. We saw Donnie Van Etten, president and board member of the Robinson Broadhurst Foundation, throwing out the first pitch as Bill Abbottine, president of the Catskill Mountain Little League, looked on. Kids had a good time, and adults who made this possible really are going to make this season great.
We all undoubtedly know of the massive eagle on Route 28 at Phoenicia, but did you know it's 40 years old and that it's getting a mammoth party? Tell us about the Shandaken 40th anniversary of the eagle sculpture coming this summer.
So this is really interesting to me because this was the first story that my father did at the Mountain Eagle 40 years ago. He interviewed the sculptor here. Metal sculptor Dakin Morehouse had restored it prior to its dedication in August 1986, which my dad wound up covering that year as well. So it's a personal story. Please show up. This is going to be Shandaken Eagle Day, Saturday, August 22nd. We're going to be covering it as well. And if you would like to volunteer, play music, help out, just attend. It is going to be there. The history of the Eagle before its rededication, 1986. comes all the way back to the 1870s when it had been installed at Grand Central Depot in New York City, removed in 1898, and eventually removed to the Catskills by David McLean. Please make sure you make it. It's going to be history in the making.
All right, don't forget to mark your calendars. For more on these and other articles, pick up the Mountain Eagle or Catskills Chronicle. But Matt, before you go, give us a quick look at some things that are coming up next week.
We're going to be doing a follow-up on that WIOX-WJFF merger. We're going to be covering quite a bit of local elections. We're going to be having school and library elections this month in May. We're also planning to cover some major changes that may be happening at the county.
All right, well, thanks for keeping us all up to date, and we will see you next week. And now it's time to talk sports. Here's John with the latest on the local ball fields.
With all our wacky Catskill Mountain weather, it seems like our baseball and softball seasons had just gotten off the ground and the regular seasons are winding down, with Section 4 tournament play just around the corner. In the Mid-State Athletic Conference, Deposit Hancock finds themselves in an unusual position, looking up from second place at league-leading Unitigo Franklin. With both teams undefeated in MAC play, UF squeezed past Deposit Hancock in late April to secure the top spot. Both squads kept pace last week, Unitigo Franklin shutting out Delhi 7-0 and Deposit Hancock downing Bainbridge Guilford 5-2. Xander Johnson was a dandy on the pitching hill for UF, no-hitting the Bulldogs 7-0. Levi Russell drove in 3 runs for the Victors. A fifth-inning Jacoby Mapes grand slam home run was the difference maker to help Deposit Hancock keep pace with Unitigo Franklin. Delaware League kingpins Gilboa Roxbury and South Courtright Margaretville honed their games, both winning high-scoring non-league contests last week. GR topped Middleburg 12-7 and SQ Margaretville outslugged Rockland 12-9. In other Delaware League baseball action, in a game played at Cooperstown's Doubleday Field, Stamford Jefferson bested Wyndham 16-11. SJ staged a mammoth comeback, erasing an early 8-0 deficit to bring home the victory. In girls softball play, Gilboa Roxbury walloped Margaretville 17-2. JC O'Donnell continued her prowess in the batter's box, slamming 3 doubles and scoring 2 times to lead the GR attack. South Courtright Andes toppled Franklin 21-10 in non-league play. Lily Temple was a batting star for the Rams, collecting 3 hits, 1 a triple, scoring 5 times and driving home a pair of runs. In MAC girls softball play, Delhi went on the road to earn a 12-6 victory over Unitigo. Alexia White had a strong outing in the batter's box for the Bulldogs with a triple and 2 singles. That's our local sports report for this week.
Thanks, John. Now let's see what Elizabeth has in arts and entertainment.
Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Focus on the Arts News Spot. Delaware County School of Performing Arts, July 6th to July 31st. That workshop is still available for students 8 to 18, 9 to 3, Monday through Friday, where you learn to create and express yourself, learn about performing arts, learn about behind the stage and on the stage. So this might be something you want to get interested in, your child interested in. Julia Rugg and Garth Kravitz, thank you for creating this. So you want to check out online and see if this might be something your young one might be interested in. Inaugural Cobleskill Art in Action Festival and Auction, June 20th. This is a final call for artists of all genres. This is an opportunity for creators to meet their community. You create live, do demonstrations, exhibit and sell your work, engage with people. Next, the Charleston Historical Society will be hosting Songs of the American Revolution. Everybody's doing many patriotic events since this is the 250th year of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Songs of the American Revolution, guest speakers and performer Cosby Gibson and Tom Stottle. These are experienced, talented duo. They have been nominated for numerous awards. So this is going to be a wonderful event. You definitely want to check this out. The Charleston Historical Society, Songs of the American Revolution. Let's help support our community artisans and artists. Let's help support everybody in our community. They're our family. Remember that, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you next time.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Get out there and enjoy our Catskills. Local businesses are, well, getting down to business. The next Delaware County Business Alliance breakfast is Monday in Stamford. Here's a chance to exchange ideas, support other business owners in the area, and nosh on some snacks. While we're on local biz, Fleischmann's has a fresh idea. Several Main Street shops and establishments will host these new Summer Fridays in Fleischmann's. The first of this weekly series is May 22nd from 4 to 9 p.m. Enjoy a leisurely street stroll with a tamale and enchilada pop-up, some bluegrass music by Justin Golden, and some late-hour shopping at the Golden Nest Jewels. You can enjoy live music from the Arbor Line at the Print House. The night is also one of several firsts for the village. The Catskill Taco Shack debuts its lemonade stand. Formerly a new vintage shop holds a soft opening, while at 2 doors down, the Paris-based Fabric 51 hosts a shopping spree. Sounds like a pretty cool way to spend a summer evening. Art and music come together for a democratic cause in Arkville. Mark your calendars for a celebration to support democracy at Union Grove Brewstillery on Saturday afternoon, June 13th. It's sponsored by the Delaware County Democratic Committee. The fundraiser features local artists and musicians, as well as a meet and greet with area candidates. Admission is free, but bring your bucks for the auction. We've had a chilly first week of May, so what's up this coming week? Here's the weather.
Good day, Catskill Mountain friends and neighbors. It's Lori with CatskillsAir, bringing you your weekly weather update for the beautiful, pristine, still highly wacky and unpredictable weather Catskill Mountain region. And folks, I do believe at the end of the week, spring will finally be sprung. The temperatures are going to be cool this week. We're going to have a little bit of rain, a little bit of clouds, maybe even a little bit of flurry overnight in some areas of the high peaks midweek. But at the end of the week, we're going to crack open that egg, and finally we are going to see spring with daytime temperatures reaching the 70s. This week, not happening. So let's give it a go and check out what's happening in the Catskill Peaks for this week in weather. On Monday, we can expect partly cloudy skies in the morning with a mix of sun and clouds, turning to cloudy skies for the afternoon with a stray isolated shower for some, very breezy. Temps are going to reach the mid-50s, winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15. Overnight, we have partly cloudy skies with those temperatures dipping back to Frostville in the low 30s, winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. On Tuesday, we have more sun than clouds early, with cloudy skies in the afternoon. Temperatures are going to reach the upper 50s, winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. Overnight, we have cloudy skies with occasional late-night showers. Temps are going to dip back to the mid-30s, winds light and variable. On Wednesday, we have rain showers, cooler temps. Temps are going to reach the low 50s. Winds are going to be breezy out of the south at 10 to 20. Overnight, we have cloudy skies with light rain showers, very breezy. Temps are going to dip back to the low 40s, winds out of the south at 10 to 20. And Thursday, we have showers, light showers in the morning with steady showers in the afternoon. Temps are only going to reach the low to mid 50s, winds out of the west at 5 to 10. Overnight, we have showers and then mostly cloudy skies after midnight. Temps are going to dip back to 40, winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. And on Friday, we have cloudy skies with a partial clearing to a mix of sunshine and clouds in the afternoon. Temps are going to reach 60 degrees or the low 60s, winds out of the west at 5 to 10. Overnight, we have mostly cloudy skies with a late night shower after midnight. Temperatures are going to dip back to the upper 40s, 50 in some areas with winds out of the west at 5 to 10. As I bid you farewell, remember that weather and temperature changes on a dime, especially in the beautiful Cats. Be sure to join me this weekend for the much anticipated warmer weather. And I'll see you then, around somewhere in the Cats.
That's it for CatskillsAir News. If you see something out there, let us know. I'm Jessica Murphy. Bye for now.